the blame rests with everyone. Every step of the process, there was a failure for the consumer. Firstly, it started with the lead generators. So these are people who called the consumers and basically got them to, get the idea in their head that they should pull their money out of APRA-regulated superannuation products and into these managed investment schemes. They're the people that then put them onto the financial planners, who then pump them into these managed investment schemes that have now collapsed. And then there's the super platforms. The super platforms are the ones that hosted the investments, so to speak. And so they've also been accused of not doing their due diligence. ASIC is actually taking legal action against one of the super trustees at the moment, Equity Trustees. And finally, the ratings agencies. So these for managed investment schemes were given very high ratings until the word came out of potential misconduct, and those ratings agencies then lowered or downgraded the ratings.
Do the super trustees have any role to play in providing compensation?
Yes, Alicia, there is. And, the fact that ASIC is taking action against one of the major, superannuation trustees, Equity Trustees, is evidence of that. I spoke to Xavier O'Halloran. He's the CEO of Super Consumers Australia. Here's some of what he had to say.
The superannuation funds have had a huge role to play here. They put these products on their shelves. In terms of where the money actually comes from though, that's still a little bit up in the air. There are reserves that super funds are supposed to be putting aside to cover some of these types of losses.
The collapses have left investors facing losses of more than $1 billion. Is there any other way they could get compensation?
Yeah, unfortunately, these are huge losses. And for some individuals, Alicia, we're talking more than $1 million. It's really devastating. And yes, there are other ways that potentially the investors could get compensation. So one of the ways is obviously through the liquidation process. Now, in the case of Shield, they're likely to do much better, the investors there, because a lot of the money was actually invested in things like equities. But in the case of First Guardian, the liquidators themselves have said they're unlikely to get a lot of the money back, and it could take a long time. Then there's something called the compensation scheme of last resort. Now, this is meant to be a safety net when there is financial misconduct. The problem with that scheme is that it's capped at $150,000 per consumer. And so, as I said, a lot of these cases, they're into hundreds of thousands of dollars up to more than $1 million. And then finally, the investors themselves are now considering taking legal action against all the parties that failed to undertake due diligence, including the superannuation trustees. They're starting a GoFundMe campaign now to help with that legal funding. And, there was initial talk of a potential class action, but now they're looking at going direct themselves and trying to recoup some of that money.
Nassim, such an important story to be chasing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.